Hello friends, welcome back to the new video. In this video, we will look at what are the different types of planning, what is planning, and what is the definition of planning, and what is the planning process. Before I begin, I have already uploaded the videos on all the management related topics, management theories, management functions, definitions of management, and what are the different types of managerial skills required, what are the different managerial roles according to Mintzberg. So please go back to the videos and check out all these videos. You will get a basic idea of what is management. Then we can go into the next lesson, which is called as planning. Planning is a fundamental management function. As we already discussed in the previous video, that planning helps you what is to be done, when is to be done, how it is done, and who is going to do it. If we are deciding on what, when, how, and who beforehand, that is what planning is about. It is an intellectual process which lays down an organization to achieve its objectives, and it helps various steps to be taken to achieve that particular objectives. So I repeat again, planning is a fundamental function where we decide what we need to do in terms of what, when, where, and who, and at the same time we lay down some steps to go further in the action process. In simple words, just you are doing thinking before you taking the action. So if you are taking the action which is going to be done in the future, and you are peeping into it, you are looking into it, that is what planning is about. As I already mentioned in the previous video, if you are failing to plan, that means you are planning to fail. So whenever we are looking at planning, we need to look at some of the characteristics of planning, and which are very important to discuss before I go into the process of planning. The first one is planning helps in decision making. Planning focuses on the future. Planning is an intellectual process. It's a mental process where we intelligently, with a lot of information, with a lot of resources, we decide on what to be done in the future. Planning is not a one-time process. It's a continuous process. A process which starts at the preliminary stage of any particular organization, and it goes on and on and on until an organization exists. So plan is result-oriented, goal-oriented, or you can say plans are based on the vision, mission of the company. Plans are not done for today. Plans are done for tomorrow. So it is future-oriented and it is goal-oriented. The next we will look at what is the main purpose of planning. Why do we do planning actually? What is the importance of planning? So it helps manager in improving the performance of an organization. It also helps manager to look at the objectives of the organization, to look at the goal of the organization and divide that into a smaller pieces so that employees of the organization can work in an effective and efficient manner. Second, if we do the planning, we will get to know what are the risks, what are the uncertainties which may arise in the future. Maybe you may call it as a threat, you may call it as future opportunities, you may call it as anything negative or a positive, which you can analyze now and take a further action. Third one, it helps you to coordinate various activities. For example, if you want to have a small party, you're going to take a lot of different actions at the same time. And each of these parallelly works and they depend on each other. So if all these activities are commenced at the same time, depending on each other, and we are moving towards the result, then we need a lot of coordination, and it only can be done when you have a proper plan. Planning also gives you a direction of where you have to go so that people are motivated and working towards it. we can get this vision, the clarity of the future, so that we all work towards that future. Planning helps to identify the future threats and opportunities. Planning also helps to make sure that we have effective controls. I have a plan, then I will also plan for the control system. So this is what the importance of planning is about. So now we're going to look at 3 types of plannings. Planning is done at various levels. As we discussed earlier, there are 3 levels of organization: strategic level, tactical level, and operational level. Strategic level planning, in this strategic level planning is done at the top level, where companies, where directors, CEOs and everybody takes a long-term decisions in an organization. For example, expanding the business, or for example, retrenchment of employees, or for example, we moving into a new country with new business. All this kind of decisions which have larger impact and it has long-term impact, then obviously that is called as a strategic planning. The second type of a planning is called as tactical planning, which is done at the middle level of the organization. In this particular, managers takes the decisions which have not long-term impact. For example, maybe from 6 months to 2 years or a 3 year. So recruiting an employee into an organization, or conducting certain trainings so that employees can get benefited and work more, or maybe having some reward mechanisms to the employees to recognize their work. These all comes under the second level of organization management, which is called as tactical planning. The final and the bottom level of management, usually they do operational planning. Operational planning is day-to-day planning. Anything which we require to do certain work, the basic raw material or a timetable of the employees, or the shift of the employees, layout of the machineries, and everything can be looked at in the bottom level. That is called as operational level planning. So operational level planning, tactical level planning, and strategic level planning. Lower level, middle level, and higher level. So these are the 3 types of plannings. As we know now what is planning, what is the importance of planning, what are the characteristics of planning, and also we looked at what are the types of plans. Now we're going to go ahead with steps involved in planning. Planning cannot be done without having proper steps. It has to be done in a systematic manner. And the first step of a planning process is setting objectives. Once we analyzed everything, now it is the point where we have to set up the objectives. Objectives are subset of goals. Goal is a subset of mission, and mission is a subset of vision. Vision is where we want to go. Mission, what we're doing now. And based on this two, we will have the goals and objectives. Remember one thing, that organization has to have SMART objectives, SMART objectives, in order for the employees to achieve them. Sir, what do you mean by SMART here? SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Any objective which we take, they should follow these 5 characteristics. First one, it should be specific, it should be related to business, or it should be related to whatever you are planning for. Second, there should be a measurement attribute. We should be able to measure where we are going, and how far we went, how far we will go. These all measurement steps can be only done. If we can do it, then that is a right kind of a plan or an objective. Third one is achievable. Don't have an objective which cannot be achieved. All objectives should be achieved by the employees. So set up an objective which is achievable. Fourth one is realistic. Realistic in the sense, is that objective feasible? Is it possible to achieve it? Is it not possible? That can be done, or is it real or imaginary? For example, I cannot decide on something which is imaginary, which doesn't exist. For example, I can't give you an objective stating that you count all the stars and come back and write on a paper. No, we cannot do that. Why? Because that is not realistic and time bound. Every objective should have certain time in which work has to be completed. That objective has to be achieved. If you don't set the time, then obviously employees may take it prolonged actions so that the objectives are achieved in a later stage when there is no use of it. So make sure that you have thing. Then you look at developing premises. So how do we do it, and what are the ways we can do this particular thing? What are the different options we have? I mean, what are the boundaries we have? In what boundaries we have to work? In what budget we have to work? That has to be decided in the third step, where developing premises. For example, I have to do this, but there is this limitation. I have to do this, but I have to involve this particular machinery. I have to do this. So what are the different boundaries or limitations or options we have? We have to identifying alternatives. As we all know that when we plan, we come up with a lot of options. And when we have a lot of options, we need to choose the best one out of it. First of all, in identifying alternatives, find out what are the different ways of solving, or what are the different ways of achieving that objective. Once we have different options available, let's say 10 options available to achieve that objective, and I'm planning on that particular aspect. I want to pass the examination is my objective, and I am planning how to pass that. Then when I am planning how to pass that, then I have different options that I will study from the videos, I will study at the college, I'll go to library and study with the books. There are so many options available. Then now you're going to compare what is the best one out of this all options, in terms of quality, in terms of time, and in terms of cost. I will choose something which gives me more quality, and which doesn't take a lot of time, and which doesn't involve a lot of cost. So such type of option, I will check it and I will implement. So evaluation is process of checking or comparing with other alternatives and find out the best one out of it. Then after you know that this is the best one, A, B, C, D, E, and I decided B is the best one, then that is called as evaluation process. And if I say B is the best one and trying to implement that particular option in my plan, then I say selecting the alternative. So after evaluation alternative, I will go for selecting that alternative. I have selected a B here. Then once I select the alternative, I am going to write in my plan, how do I implement this B, plan B, which I have selected? What are the ways of implementing it? What is the course of action? What is the action plan? Who will do it? Who will start it? Where we will start it? How much time we have? How many people will be involved? How much cost is involved? Is all done in this particular stage. That is nothing but what is the course of action? How do I going to implement this particular option which I have just selected? Next one, the final one, is called as reviewing. Reviewing is nothing but whatever course of action which I am going to implement, whether this particular action is working in favor or not working in favor of us. If it is working in favor, then okay, well and good. If it is not working in favor of us, we may go back to any of the earlier stages and steps and again do the planning process. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I want you all to subscribe this channel. Tell other friends who is studying BTech, MBA, Diploma, who is doing this particular course, and most of the courses have this particular concepts. So this can be used in a long term. These videos can be used many times in your life. Please tell other friends, subscribe KnowHowPedia. I am Mohammad Tausif, signing off, and wish you best of luck for your examinations. Thank you.